I was part of Ed Parker's teaching team, demo team that went to Australia back in I think it was 86, and again in 1987. And the first time I went, it was Mr. Parker, Frank Trejo, Dennis Knatzer, and myself. And funny thing about that trip, the Aussies treated us very, very well. We had a great time in Australia. And one of the big things was that Ed Parker had been Elvis Presley's friend and bodyguard. He liked to say protective companion. And the two of them really got along very, very well. But that was the big hook. So when Ed Parker went to Australia, they wanted to know about his connection with Elvis Presley. And so Good Morning Australia asked him to come down and be on television. So they got Frank Trejo to go along with him, and they set it up so that Mr. Parker was talking to the interviewer, and in the background, in a flat area with a couple of trees around, was Frank. And Frank is doing Form 4 and pieces of the other forms, not very fast or hard, just doing some background stuff. And Dennis Knatzer and I were sitting back at the hotel watching this on television. And of course we're watching Frank now and again, and Frank breaks out of one move, and he goes up, and he goes, and he comes up and goes. So after they got back, he said, Frank, it was pretty cool what you're doing, but what's up with the hand of the foot and the crane stance sort of thing? He said, well, there were pine needles all over the ground. I was barefoot. I got one stuck in my foot, and I was trying to get it out without really showing that I was in some sort of pain. Now, the next year we went back, and there were a lot more of us. I think there were 13 of us that came over from the United States. And one of the guys that came with us was a guy named Lou Laird. And Lou is a big NFL-sized black belt from Ohio, Mansfield, Ohio. And he and his dad had come along, and his instructor, David Seitz. So Lou fought in a competition, and at the end of the fighting there, he had beaten somebody from a taekwondo school. And the student was fine with it, but the instructor was pretty upset. And he was standing on the sidelines, he was ranting and raving and punching his fist into the air, and screaming obscenities about the Americans and so on. Well, Lou was a gentleman, bowed, went to shake the guy's hand, the guy wouldn't do it. And as Lou stood there, the instructor kicked one of these little orange safety cones that they were using to mark the edge of the ring there, and it hit Louie in the chest. Well, Lou looked at Mr. Parker. Mr. Parker looked back at Lou, shook his finger, and that was fine. Well, the instructor and the student walked off into the crowd. Now, we're in a gymnasium full of people, and there's got to be 2,000 people in this place. It's jammed to the gills, and they've got folding chairs set up all over on the main floor, plus the bleachers. And these guys went walking up the aisle, and the instructor was so upset that he apparently thought it was a real good idea to pick up a folding chair and throw it into the crowd. Well, people boiled up and out of the way to get away from this thing. Unfortunately, the chair hit one of the members of the Filipino stick fighting club. The club had been run by Ramey Praises' brother Ernesto, and Ramey's a world-known martial arts instructor. So all the Filipinos stood up, and all the Taekwondo guys got into it, and they started fist fighting in the seating area there. So there's chairs flying, there's people trying to get out of the way, and the place just goes up for grabs. And I looked over and I saw that one of the stick fighters was up on a chair, had his baston or his stick in his hand, and was just clubbing people in the head. And I saw a guy get his head split open, he's got blood running down the side of his face, and they're fighting, and there's roundhouse kicks going and all that. And I grabbed Mr. Parker and I said, grabbed him by the belt, I said, don't move. And he said, you know, I'll stand right here. But he was so into it. He said, see what he did? The guy did it. The guy hit that guy like that. And with the help of Mike Krim and a couple other people that were on the visiting team, we got Mr. Parker and his family, because his wife and his daughter Sherry were with us at the time, and we took him out a side entrance, which we had to do because the fighting was getting worse. It actually subsided a little bit, and they went out into the hallway, and then it started again, and they started coming back into the gymnasium and fighting some more. And the police were called. They surrounded the building. It was quite a crazy night. It was on the news the next day and all that. But some people have heard about the riot in Australia with Ed Parker. It really did happen. Nobody got hurt, and there were no problems on our end. It just makes a really good story.